So I've been thinking lately about death. What is it like? What is it like to no longer exist? Some people say it's like before you were born. You don't really know. There's just nothing. But what about the moment right before you die? So you're on your deathbed and down to your last few breaths. People say that your life flashes again before your eyes, like a movie. It plays out. And over the past few days, I've been thinking, what if my movie is boring? What if the movie that I get to watch one last time is a gray silent film? What if the moments and experiences that I have lived through amount to a silent movie, a gray scale silent movie? And it makes me think, what adds the color to that movie? Where do you get the plot, the characters, the score, the emotion, and where do you inject that into the movie? Where does the movie get that from? Like, how can you not have a boring movie to watch right before you die? And when I reflect upon the moments in my life that have led to the most colorful experiences and memories that I have, that I'm sure will be in that movie, that I get to witness one last time. It's been the consequence or the outcome of doing something difficult, of doing the hard thing. And for me in my life, the hardest things I've done have all been through school, through academics. It's all revolved around that. And I don't know if I want to watch a movie that just has me overcoming hardship by passing an exam or talking to my crush in the seventh grade and getting rejected, but growing stronger from it. So I think the real color comes from doing hard things in your life, right? It's external from your career or your school or what your parents expect of you or what your friends are doing. It's doing hard things within your life and going through them because they are hard, seeking the person that you'll become as a result of doing it. And so the goal becomes doing the hard thing. right? David Goggins always talks about how you need to be able to show up, wake up at 5 in the morning when you're sore, when it's cold outside, and you just want to stay under the covers, and you need to get out and go run without any purpose in your mind. You need to be able to train without something to train for, right? So I am going to run a marathon in a few months, and that has motivated me to train for these past several months. But the strength of character that you build from being able to do something hard without any perceived target or goal to achieve is extremely powerful. And in terms of running, it would be adopting the identity of someone that runs without having the urgency of a marathon happening. So you need to be able to train without any goal in mind. You need to be able to just show up and train just because that is the person you are and you love it and you have passion for it. And that is where the color comes from. It's doing the hard thing even when there is no destination. It's driving without a destination. It's running a uncountless number of miles just because it's hard. It's running 15 miles on a Thursday night just because. And the because comes from the experience that you have resulting from doing the hard thing. It's not money. It's not a medal to prove that you finished the marathon. It's not validation from someone on social media touting how amazing you are for have running a marathon and how much work you had to put in. It's the act of doing the hard thing and overcoming it, and then it's deep within your soul. You don't feel externally any of these emotions. It's internal, right? When you do something hard, yes, you will get external validation, but that's not what matters, right? The reason you do the hard thing is for the way that you feel after you overcome them. And so when I'm training for this marathon, I'm finding myself doing it less for the fact that I'm running a marathon in a few months, and I'm doing it more for the fact that I am a runner and I want to embrace this hard thing. I want to be able to have ran this marathon in a few months and still be showing up every day to train and to run because the marathon was never the goal. Running and being a person that runs was the goal, the identity. And so this video itself is the hard thing. I have a podcast. This is episode 23. And the only reason that I've made it this far is because of a statistic. It says that 90% of podcasters do not make it past episode 3. And of those 90%, 80% don't make it past episode 21. So by making it past episode 21, I have put myself in the top 1% of podcasters to ever attempt to do it. So that has been my goal for the past few months, to hit episode 21. And here we are. And it's been one hell of a ride, to say the least. Changed niche so many times. Tried so many ways to grow. I've tried introductions. Tried to mess around with branding. I've tried all the things in an attempt to optimize my podcast to blow up on YouTube. But I realized that that wasn't the goal all along, right? The thing that was motivating me to keep going was to hit episode 21. So I was showing up every week to record these episodes with the image in my head that, okay, once I hit episode 21, I'll be good. I'll be in the top 1%. But now I'm on episode 23 and I'm not growing as fast as I want to. Today, actually, right now, I'm supposed to be interviewing somebody, but they canceled for the second time in a row. So I don't have an interview for this week. And I went into, I went on X because last night I DM'd them, checking in, making sure that they're ready for today, for right now. And I checked this morning before the episode, and they canceled again. And I clicked away from the message and just kind of scrolled, looked at my notifications, responded to some comments, because in the back of my mind I was like, of course, right? I had a sinking feeling almost that this was gonna happen. And then I opened up the DM again, and I thought about what I was gonna say. And I thought about what Alex Hormozy was saying about the idea of saying no. And the idea of authenticity, right? So I stared at his message for a good 5 minutes, thinking about how I wanted to respond. He wanted to reschedule for next week. But I didn't want to reschedule. It's not worth the trouble. And so it took me 10, 15 minutes to literally type, no, let's not reschedule. It's been awesome to figure this out, and thank you for being interested on joining the podcast and yada yada yada, right? It took me 15 minutes to write that because I was so fearful of saying no, of disagreeing, of going against the grain. But I said no, and we don't have an interview for this week. For the first time in the past 3 months, no interview. Of course, it would happen after episode 21, right? This is my tribute to authenticity. I bought this black curtain so that I could hide the mess of my room so that I didn't have the wallpaper color of my bedroom as the background of the podcast. I just wanted to have a very sleek and branded and luxurious vibe. But this is my tribute to authenticity. This is realistically what my experience is as a podcaster. It's not this magical thing. It's tough. It makes me want to not do it anymore because people canceling, because not growing, because I just don't want to edit. I don't want to publish this to nobody because nobody's going to listen. Bouncing from niche to niche because I'm thinking that one niche just isn't going to work. But the authenticity comes from being okay with yourself and your circumstances. Speaking your mind, whenever I was younger, I I was always quiet about the way I felt because I didn't want other people to think that I was weak. I wanted to be the tough guy. I wanted to be a Chad. I wanted to be the dude that everyone looked up to, that didn't show any weakness, that was always strong, always competent, always capable. And I feel like it was the perfect storm to bring that inauthentic ideology to my journey as an entrepreneur, as a podcaster, because I truly believe that the most successful entrepreneurs, podcasters, content creators are the ones that are just so delusionally authentic, so themselves. They don't care about what other people think. They don't care if anybody watches the fucking YouTube video. They don't care. They don't care about the ugly wallpaper in their room. They don't care about saying something stupid or saying something controversial. They just do it. They just say it. They press record on the video. It took me 2 hours to press record on this video. I was literally watching YouTube, watching Hamza videos, just so that I could cope and figure out what kind of video I wanted to record. And over these past few weeks, I've been thinking, okay, how can I make these YouTube videos have higher click-through rate, have better attention? How can I optimize these thumbnails and SEO? How can I do all these tactics so that my YouTube videos will grow, my YouTube channel will grow? But that's not the point, right? When I think about why I started this podcast, why I started even entrepreneurship, it's because I wanted to behave authentically, right? I know deep within my heart that I do not want to work a traditional job. I don't want to go through the traditional school system. But here I am. I'm literally doing that. But that's why I got into entrepreneurship. It's because I wanted to follow my authentic calling. I wanted to do the thing that aligned with my goals, right? I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I want to get rich. I want to have freedom. These are things I want. And if I'm acting truly authentically, then it would be to start a business because I want that freedom to choose the work that I do and not have someone hovering over my shoulder and telling me what to do, right? But with the podcast, something that it's taught about me, what it has taught to me about me, it's reminding me of my emotional struggles. It's reminding me of my vulnerabilities, the ones that I've tried to keep hidden behind the words that I say. I try to avoid it. I try to run away from it. I never share it. I keep silent about it. But here I am, recording this video to be authentic, right? Before I clicked record, I was thinking about, okay, what will be the big idea about this video? What will be the topic that will keep people listening to this video? Why would someone want to watch this video about this dude in his bedroom reeling emotionally from a canceled podcast interview, talking about a bunch of random topics? So what do I want? So if I'm acting authentically, what is it that I want? Why did I start this podcast? Why am I writing online? It's because I don't want to work a 9 to 5, and the conventional advice is to start a business. And to start a business, most people say you need to start a personal brand. And so here we are. And so what is personal about scripting a YouTube video or doing something that you don't want to do, right? I think if I was to truly act authentically, then I'd probably drop out of college, book a one-way flight to somewhere, anywhere but here, out of the States. I just got to go somewhere and think and reflect, figure out what it is I want to do with my life. But there's just so much fear, right? I have so much fear. I'm so deeply rooted within everything that, with my parents, with school right now. I'm so deeply rooted within it. I can't overcome that hurdle. And I think that's something that it's not just me, it's also probably you. You know you want to do something, but the circumstances, you don't have enough money, you don't have time, you don't want to disappoint somebody, and that's what keeps you where you are. But if we were to truly act authentically, then it is to book that flight. It is to go ask out that girl. It is to start that new hobby. It is to quit this thing and start the next thing. I've been thinking a lot about that. Like what it is that I would do if there was no possibility of punishment. If I didn't have any consequences in my life, if I had unlimited money, unlimited time, what would I be doing? Would it be this? Probably not. But the reason I am so doing this is because of the circumstances that I've imposed upon myself and the restrictions that I have perceived to be placed upon me. That's why I'm still here. That's why I'm still stuck in this almost in this rut, in this prison That's why I'm still here. It's because I'm just going in two different directions. I'm going to college, but I'm also trying to start a business. It just doesn't make sense, right? Because college gets you one place that is on the exact opposite end of the spectrum from where a business takes you. And I'm only doing it because I don't want to disappoint people. Because I've been told that this is what I'm supposed to do. And that's inauthentic. But here we are, right? I'm doing this video. Don't have a background. I just have this. I'm just tired, dude. I'm so tired of school, trying to live the life that someone else wants for me. Been focusing on my health, the best shape of my life, best sleep of my life, but I'm still exhausted. How is that? How is it that I'm getting 7 hours of sleep every single night, at least 7 hours of sleep every single night? I do my entire to-do list. I'm reading more books, perfect grades, getting stronger and stronger in the gym. How is it so that I still feel exhausted? Dude, I'm 18. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, right? You're an adult. You've been alive for 18 years. You still have supposedly 60 years of life ahead of you. That's pretty nice. I wrote down a purpose yesterday. I was laying around watching the self-improvement videos and I thought about this purpose. And it is do hard things so that the story I get to tell myself before I die leaves me in awe. The story, the movie that I want to be able to relive right before I die. I want to be the most epic work of art that I've ever seen. Hans Zimmer score, Scorsese, Tarantino plot and character, color grading. I want it to be the most beautiful thing ever. And what I'm doing right now with going to school, with the podcast, it's not going to get me there. I don't feel like my behaviors today are going to get me there. I already know nobody's listening because why the hell would you be listening to my life like this? But this is me literally, for once, being so brutally honest and authentic about the way I feel. I told myself I'm going to be doing this podcast for the next 3 years because that's how long it's going to take. And maybe I'm just acting irrationally because someone just canceled on me and my podcast isn't growing right now. I'm stuck at 95 subscribers for the past week. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I don't want to do it anymore. I'm in a group chat with these other young entrepreneurs from X, ghostwriting, mentorship, coaching. And in that group chat, there's some guys making good amount of money. 3K a month, 5K a month. Think maybe if you were making 10K a month. And it's now it doesn't feel as I don't feel as much jealousy compared to when I was in that position with them, when I was in the game alongside them, right? I don't feel that sense of urgency anymore. There's a channel within this group chat that's called Share Wins, and they share their Stripe and PayPal screenshots, newest invoice from their newest client, and I don't feel a single bit of anything really. If anything, it makes me feel like good for them, right? They're making money. But the more I think about it, man, I don't think money is my goal. Like, dude, when I think about the moments in my life that have contributed to this purpose, do hard things so that the story I get to tell myself before I die leaves me in awe. It didn't cost me anything. 100% of these moments did not cost me anything. And the only reason why I perceived the need for money is so that I can buy nice things, dude. So that I can buy organic food. So that I can buy protein powder without feeling like I have to sell a liver. So that I can buy a car, So I can buy a car so I don't have to reuse the old family car. So that I could pay for my own gas. So that I could just book a one-way ticket somewhere for a few months and be okay. For me, money is not a necessity because of the way that I've been brought up, very privileged. Very privileged actually. So it's more of a quality of life thing. Just to have a higher quality life. That's why I want money. And the vehicle to get there for me has been entrepreneurship because I don't want to work a 9 to 5. Okay? But does quality of life add color to my movie? To the movie that I will witness one last time before I die? I don't think so. But I do believe that the quality of my life will make the act of doing the hard things more feasible. If anything, this video that I'm making right now, I hope to just be able to watch it again 20 years from now and be like, he was so right. He was so right. That all I wanted to have is an epic story, dude. Just one epic story. Not to tell on anybody else, but so that I can just live that story one last time before I die. Before I cease to exist. I get to relive this fucking epic. I get to rewatch this epic movie that I made myself. I composed the music. I color graded it. I edited together the footage. I handpicked the footage. I held the camera myself. I held the camera myself and recorded every single moment. Never stopped clicking record because I wanted to hide behind something. Because I wanted to hide behind my insecurities. Because I didn't want people to see this other side. I want to hold the camera and never stop recording my life. I want it to be so brutally authentic and honest. And so when I think about the purpose of my personal brand, it's personal. It's for me. It's not for you. It's not for anybody. I want to just do hard things, feel something, and share it with the world. Mostly for myself, but also with you, with the world. That's what adds color to life, dude. I know that there will be a point in my life where the hard thing will be starting a business. I know it will be that. There will be a chapter, a season within this life where I will actually start a business. But I don't think that time is right now. I finished, I absolutely devoured a book titled Essentialism by Greg McKeown. And at the beginning of the book, there's a graphic. It's there's two sides. There's a circle with energy in the middle and arrows pointing out. So in my life, we have, say, 100 units of energy. And you only get those 100 units of energy. You don't get any more, right? As a fucking human. And so all these arrows pointing outward are different things that you're doing. So for me, it'd be go to school, work in the job, hosting the podcast, making YouTube videos, editing YouTube videos, working out, meditating, journaling, reading, learning, whatever, spending time with family, whatever it is, right? It's these arrows pointing in so many different directions. I'm sure you've heard about this before, but it's the idea of doing so many things at one time that you're not making progress in any of them. And then on the other side of the diagram was a single arrow pointing in one direction. I know that that is the goal, to have that one direction, that one arrow. But I'm just stuck. I'm stuck in this place of doing so many things at the same time because I feel like I need to do it because the people that I care about are telling me to do it. I don't want to disappoint them. I don't want to take a risk. That's why I keep doing all these things because it feels safe. I feel safe and comfortable when I am doing all these things. But it feels wrong, dangerous, risky, going against the grain to go in one direction. It's scary. You don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. That's why I'm in so much pain. I'm telling myself, okay, I just gotta finish college, and then once I'm out, I can finally focus on. No, right? No. Once I'm out of college, I'm gonna have a job, a full-time job. Have to, I'm gonna have all these other responsibilities. I'm gonna pay for my own living expenses. I'm gonna have to cook my own food. I'm gonna have to do all these things. And that's my biggest fear because it forces me to turn off the camera, right? I'm no longer gonna be able to record every moment because I'm I have to pause it to go do these things, to go work the job. So my movie will be less epic. My movie will be less epic. The story that I will be writing for myself will be less magnificent because I'm being pulled in so many different directions. Dude, I'm scared, honestly. I don't know how this is going to play out. I don't know how any of this is going to play out, you know, once I graduate. What am I going to do? I feel this way, I think, because I find it very hard to stay excited about something. There's never been anything in my life besides video games, ironically, that I've been able to stick to consistently for a very long time. Video games in school, that's literally it, right? Years playing video games and almost 2 decades going to school, right? Those are the two things that I've been able to stick to. Why? One of them is systematically forced upon me. The other is because of so many positive feedback loops, right? But I just I can never stick to something. It's because I get to the phase of doubt where I don't believe I can do the thing. I don't believe it that deep within myself I can do the thing. And I convince myself, okay, I'm just gonna quit. I'm gonna do something else. Next shiny object. What if I reframed school as a hard thing? Or the phase of my life that I'm going through as the hard thing? That will add color to my movie. Because this does feel hard. It's different fundamentally from doing something hard like run a marathon or climb Mount Everest or something like that. It's a different kind of hard. It's pain. It's painful because you can't pull yourself away from this, but you still persevere. And the way that you'll feel, the way that I'll feel after going through this will be amazing. And so if hard things are the goal, then this is okay. Going through this is okay. And all I need to do is focus. Just focus. One direction. I think this is the direction I want to go on. Just so authentic and honest and just raw and actually expressing the way I feel and opening up about things and just hitting publish because why not? Because there's these moments in my life after I do something hard, right? A few days ago, after I ran 15 miles in the rain, sat there on the pavement and just looked at the raindrops and just started talking to myself. And it's in those moments that I want to document. After I do something hard, how do I feel? Authentically, truthfully, in my soul, how do I feel after I do that hard thing? I want to document those moments more. I want to be able to reinforce and be able to look back in a few years upon those moments and be like, hell yeah, he fucking did it. He did that shit. He did the hard thing even though he didn't want to do it. So I think this is what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna do these super raw videos and share them with the world, call them a podcast as well, publish them as YouTube videos, post them to the RSS feed, and educate, right? Because I'm gonna be learning throughout this process, with my health, with my fitness, with school, with business. I'm gonna be learning, and I haven't accomplished anything, so nobody should listen to me. But I'm at the stage where I've consumed so much shit for the past 5 years, so much advice, so much bullcrap, that I have a pretty good idea of what is actually necessary to get somewhere in your life. I have a pretty clear understanding of what it takes to not get caught up in the trap of doing something for a purposeless reason, to have a meaning behind what you do, you know? even though I haven't made a ton of money, even though I'm only 18, even though I don't have a degree, who the fuck cares? I don't care if anybody listens, right? Because by educating, I reinforce the things that I learn. And so if the goal is to reinforce my own learning and it just so happens to get posted online, then I've achieved my goal and no metric can take that away from me. So if I get 0 views, that is perfectly fine because I'm reinforcing the thing that I learned, and that is already a, a step in the right direction. That's already my goal checked off. This video wasn't very educational, I know, but I needed to do this. I needed to just put myself out there, you know? This could just be my pinned video on the homepage of my YouTube channel. Just, this is me. This is the struggle. This is the way I feel about things. This is the way I see the world. Completely discombobulated video, but I think it's the truest expression of me, and it's the most authentic podcast I've ever hosted. And it's, of course, it's one by myself with no fancy background, no music, straight to the point, talking about everything and anything under the sun, talking about the way I feel, what sucks, what's working, what's not working.